Hear this. What if I told you that Bethesda's sprawling space epic Starfield is secretly a sequel to the 1997 sci-fi horror classic? That's right, today we're diving into a wild theory that Starfield is a stealth sequel to Event Horizon. Buckle up, explorers, because we're about to navigate some interdimensional weirdness, cosmic horror, and a few too many coincidences that might just convince you. Let's jump in. But before we get into this video, how about a quick word from our sponsor, Raid Shadow? Nah, not really. But if you like what I do here, why not sign up for my Patreon, get access to exclusive videos, and check out my merch store for something cool and comfy. Now on to the video. For the uninitiated, Event Horizon, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Yes, the Resident Evil Paul W.S. Anderson is a cult classic sci-fi horror film, which I just so happened to have watched for the very first time in May. In 2047, the experimental starship Event Horizon uses a gravity core to create a wormhole, accidentally punching a hole into a hellish dimension. The crew, led by Lawrence Fishburne's Captain Miller, discovers the ship's gruesome fate. Its original crew was driven mad, and the ship itself seems possessed by a malevolent force. Fast forward to Starfield, Bethesda's 2023 RPG set in 2330. You're a spacefarer exploring these settled systems, uncovering ancient artifacts and grappling with mysterious cosmic powers. At first glance, these seem very unrelated, a gritty horror flick versus an open-world space adventure. But what if Starfield's shiny optimism is a facade hiding a darker connection to Event Horizon's cosmic terror? Let's break it down with 5 key connections. First, let's talk about faster-than-light travel. In Event Horizon, the gravity drive folds space-time, creating a wormhole to instantly travel vast distances. Dr. Weir, played by Sam Neill, describes it as punching a hole through the fabric of reality. In Starfield, ships use a Grav drive, sound familiar, to jump between star systems. While Starfield doesn't dwell on the tech's origins, the similarity is striking. Both rely on manipulating space-time, and Starfield's lore hints that Grav drive tech was reverse-engineered from ancient alien artifacts. Now here's where it gets spooky. Event Horizon's gravity drive opened a gateway to a chaotic, malevolent dimension. In Starfield, the artifacts and the Unity, a mysterious cosmic force, suggest contact with an unknown realm. Could Starfield's grav drives be evolved versions of Event Horizon's tech, refined over centuries, but still tied to the same dangerous dimension? The game's vague lore about artifact-induced visions and cosmic entities feels eerily close to Event Horizon's Hell Beyond the Stars. Next, let's explore the psychological toll. In Event Horizon, the ship's crew is driven insane by exposure to this other dimension, seeing visions of their worst fears. The ship itself seems alive, whispering horrors to its occupants. In Starfield, players who interact with artifacts experience visions, hear whispers, and encounter the Starborn, enigmatic beings tied to the Unity. These visions often feel disorienting, even malevolent, hitting at a force beyond comprehension. Take the mission Unearthed in Starfield. You discover a facility experimenting with the artifacts, and the logs describe researchers losing their minds, plagued by visions of alternate realities. Sound familiar? It's practically a page out of Event Horizon's playbook, where the ship's logs reveal a crew consumed by madness. Both stories suggest that tampering with cosmic forces, whether through a gravity drive or artifacts, comes at a cost to sanity. Now let's talk missing ships. In Event Horizon, the titular ship vanishes for 7 years before reappearing, its crew dead and the vessel changed. In Starfield, you encounter derelict ships like the Coliander, a vessel found adrift with its crew mysteriously slaughtered, hinting at an unknown entity. An even more direct reference is in At Hell's Gate mod, and seeing a crew of mercenaries use a grav drive to jump to a hellish dimension, only to be driven insane or outright killed in this alternate reality. The ships you explore are all eerily void of life. The parallels are uncanny. Both stories feature ships lost in space, returning with evidence of something sinister. Consider Starfield's lore about early space exploration. The United Colonies archives mention failed missions and ships lost during the first grav drive tests. Could one of these be the Event Horizon itself, its gravity experiment in 2047 marking humanity's first brush with the Unity dimension? By 2330, maybe the tech was stabilized, but the cosmic scars remain, manifesting as the artifacts and the Starborn. Now, here's the big one. The Unity. In Starfield, the Unity is a mysterious force or realm accessible through the artifacts, granting godlike powers to the Starborn. It's described as a place where all realities converge, but its true nature is vague, almost Lovecraftian. In Event Horizon, the gravity drive opens a portal to a dimension of pure chaos, a hellish realm that corrupts all it touches. What if Starfield's Unity is the same dimension, just rebranded by centuries of human exploration and optimism? Think about it. The Starborn, who've crossed into the Unity, are cold, detached, and almost inhuman, much like the Event Horizon's crew after their dimensional trip. The game's ending, where you enter the Unity, feels triumphant, but unsettling. You're becoming something else. Could this be Starfield sanitizing the horror of Event Horizon's dimension, turning cosmic terror into a narrative of transcendence? The parallels in tone and outcome are too close to ignore. Finally, let's look at the aesthetics and themes. Event Horizon's ship design is gothic, with spiked corridors and a cathedral-like engine room, evoking a sense of dread. Starfield's artifact temples, with their alien monolithic architecture, shares a similar vibe, otherworldly and oppressive. Both stories lean to the fear of the unknown, whether it's the void of space or the void beyond reality. Even looking at the gravity drive of the Event Horizon itself and comparing it to how powers are unlocked in these temples, anything look familiar here? Thematically, both also explore humanity's hubris in reaching for the stars. In Event Horizon, Dr. Weir's ambition leads to disaster. In Starfield, factions like Constellation push the boundaries of exploration, ignoring warnings about the artifact's dangers. Even the name Event Horizon feels like a nod to Starfield's obsession with cosmic boundaries. Event Horizons mark the edge of black holes, much like the Unity marks the edge of reality. Now let's address some skepticism. Some might argue that Starfield's tone is too hopeful to connect to Event Horizon's grim horror. But that's the genius of a stealth sequel. It reframes the original darkness in a new light. Starfield's optimism could be humanity's attempt to cope with the trauma of Event Horizon's events, turning a nightmare into a story of progress. Others might point out that the 283-year gap between 2047 and 2330, yet Starfield's lore is deliberately vague about early spacefaring history, leaving room for Event Horizon's experiment to be a forgotten chapter. Bethesda is also known for deep lore and Easter eggs. Think about Fallout's nods to Blade Runner. A stealth sequel doesn't need explicit connections. It's about thematic and narrative echoes, and Starfield has those in spades. So, is Starfield a stealth sequel to Event Horizon? For me, the evidence is compelling. Grav drives mirroring the gravity drive, cosmic horror lurking beneath the surface, missing ships, and the Unity's eerie similarity to a hellish dimension. Bethesda may have cloaked Event Horizon's terror in a shiny RPG package, but the DNA is there. Humanity's reckless leap into the cosmos only to find something staring back. So what do you think, explorers? Are these just coincidences, or is Starfield hiding a darker truth? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more wild theories from this brain of mine, hit that like and subscribe. Before I go, I'd like to thank Zane Tor, my loyal Patreon patron, for his continued support, and it is much appreciated, as always. Until next time, keep your grav drives charged and your sanity intact. I've been Doodleman149, you have been awesome, and I will see you again, sometime, somewhere, amongst the stars.
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.